The Grange Musical Collection, based in Suffolk. They're the UK's largest and most diverse museum for mechanical music, with regular public open days on the first Sunday of every month. They're always on the lookout for a new and unique exhibit. Contact in confidence if you have something to sell. Find them on Facebook or visit thegrangemusicalcollection.com. Proud supporters of Mechanical Music Radio.
Broadcasting from our studios in the UK. Heard around the world.
Automatic musical instruments.
On app, on Alexa speakers and online. Tuesday Night Live.
With James Dundon.
Evening, one and all. Welcome to the live show. Tonight, an organ that's recently surfaced from a shed. Oh, we got a barn find to tell you about. A barn find. No, this is an instrument that was built, tucked away. No one really heard or saw it, and nearly 30 years later, it resurfaces. Ben Kellett has purchased this 89 Key Whitehead Fair organ. It made its public debut, new to eyes and ears around the mechanical music world. Just a couple of weeks ago, we went to make some special recordings at Southport Pleasureland, and Ben joins us on the show tonight to tell us more about his purchase. Also coming up, we've got a Connect 4 that I think will keep you guessing, and our 1 second song I think you'll find medium-ish, medium. And our Tuesday talking point, and think about this while I play the opening track of the show. What does a mechanical organ smell of? Email me now. What does a mechanical organ smell of? That's our Tuesday talking point. Get in touch, mechanicalmusicradio.com. Welcome to Tuesday Night Live. Let's start things off with the Pipe and Burger Street organ, and Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel. The Pipe and Burger Street Organ, Tuesday Night Live with James Dundon. So, our Tuesday talking point is, what does a mechanical organ smell of? Thomas Potter says cardboard, wood and oil. Yeah. Pam Bavage says mud or dust is what mechanical organs smell of, dependent on what steam rally and what time of year. I like that. Nick Williams says it smells like a fine oak-barreled whiskey, a rich aroma mixed with hints of beeswax and full of nostalgia. Nice. I like it. And what else we got here? John Fleming says sadness and disappointment. I was never a fan of the things. Well, you like our page, John, your misery. So on Facebook, you can join in the discussion. What does a mechanical organ smell of? Just get on our website, mechanicalmusicradio.com.
4 songs, but what's the connection? Mechanical Music Radio's Connect 4.
Here we go then. We're going to play you 4 tracks. You guess the connection. When you think you know, you can email on the website, mechanicalmusicradio.com, and get your mobile sorted out with our phone number in your address book. You can text us as well. 07871 221 511. Connect 4 starts with a medley of Jungle Book tunes from the movie Jungle Book.
Mechanical Music Radio's Connect 4.
need another song or two before you get tonight's Connect 4. We played Powder Your Face with Sunshine and the Jungle Book medley. Nice and quiet so far on the email and the text. I'll let you enjoy these next two tunes, and then suddenly the penny will drop, I'm sure. When you think you know the connection, email on our website, mechanicalmusicradio.com, and the text number is 07871 221 511. Maybe track 3 on Connect 4 will help. It's You've Got Your Troubles on the Turk's Flute.
Mechanical Music Radio's Connect 4.
There you go, tonight's Connect 4. We played the Jungle Book medley, Powder Your Face with Sunshine, You've Got Your Troubles, and the merry-go-round broke down. Have you just had a eureka moment as to what tonight's Connect 4 is? 07871 221 511. You can also email us on the website mechanicalmusicradio.com. The Jungle Book medley, Powder Your Face with Sunshine, You've Got Your Troubles, and the merry-go-round broke down. Get in touch now. I'll reveal the answer in 5 minutes.
Text the studio now. 07871 221 511. Or email through our website mechanicalmusicradio.com.
So why do you just renew your insurance policy for your mechanical organ? I suppose there aren't many of us who list paperwork as our hobby. Get a quote from Walker Midgley Insurance Brokers. Our experienced and friendly advisors can sort cover for your organ and ancillary equipment, public liability, and cover for your commercial vehicle or trailer. Call us today on 0114 250 2770. Walker Midgley is part of the Towergate Underwriting Group Limited, who are authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Cover is for UK-based customers only.
Tuesday Night Live, Mechanical Music Radio. 4 songs, but what's the connection? Mechanical Music Radio's Connect 4.
So, on tonight's Connect 4, the tracks that we played were the Jungle Book medley, Powder Your Face with Sunshine, You've Got Your Troubles, and The Merry-Go-Round Broke Down. Josh from Red Roof thinks it's the problems that can occur when owning an organ. Do you know a lot about that then, Josh? No. A couple of people saying Disney characters, Disney films, says Denise Rogers. Michael Clark in Leeds thought Disney, no. The fastest finger first was Andrew Roth, followed closely by Bill and Claire in the US. Well done to Peter Mackett, who also got it right. Mark Raven, David Aldridge, Catherine in Callington, Bill Warder, and many more as well. It was a tricky one tonight. The answer we were looking for was the Facebook outage from yesterday. We played the Jungle Book medley. We played Powder Your Face with Sunshine. So we had Facebook. And You've Got Your Troubles, which they did when they obviously pulled the wrong cable. And The Merry-Go-Round Broke Down. That's the Facebook outage from yesterday. It's a pity we weren't doing a live show this time yesterday evening, but then again, we wouldn't have been able to tell anyone we were doing it because Facebook was down. Oh well. Rosemary, I Love You, the Weber Maestro Orchestrion in the Museum Spielklock in Utrecht. A nice exhibition underway there about jazz music this month, because they always do different themes. Well worth checking out if you're in the area. James Dundon at Mechanical Music Radio. So our Tuesday talking point was, what does a mechanical organ smell of? Jonathan Ling of the Grange Collection says, depends which way the wind is blowing. One day it could smell of pigs. The other day, I could smell of cow. He's on a farm. Sarah Hall says oil, wood and old paper. Bill Warder thinks a mechanical organ smells of paint and beer. And also diesel fumes from a generator. Do you know, I'd go along with generator fumes. I think that's a good answer. Look, get in touch. What does a mechanical organ smell of? You can go on our website, follow the link through to our Facebook page, or send me an email on our site, mechanicalmusicradio.com.
Playing 3 tracks in a row from iconic instruments. Tuesday, Triple Plays.
Here's an organ that was built and put into a shed. And now it's in the cold light of day. My goodness me, has it got a sound? One of the most impressive replicas, I think, on the scene, with Ben Kellett's 89-key Whitehead Fair organ. These recordings were made at the debut event of the instrument just a couple of weeks ago at Southport Pleasureland. We start with the Linwood March on a triple play from the 89-key Whitehead.
Three tracks from one instrument.
Mechanical Music Radio.
The Triple Play.
Mechanical Music Radio.
The Triple Play.
A triple play tonight from Ben Kellett's 89 Key Whitehead Fair Organ, recorded there exclusively a couple of weeks ago at Southport Pleasureland at the event that was its debut. You heard Linwood March, Hasta La Vista, and the final track there, Shepherd of the Hills. And let's speak to the new owner of the organ. Hello, Ben Kellett.
Hello, James. How are you? Okay.
I'm great, thank you. So it was December last year when you did the purchase, and then there was, the job of getting it out of the shed, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, what a job it was, really. It was, I suppose, firstly, I was sort of chatting to Andrew Whitehead, really, who initially built the organ in the 80s, and he said that the organ might be for sale, so he put me in touch with Adrian Hutt of Cambridge, and I sort of called him and bought the organ, and we sort of got it out of his shed. But as I spoke with you earlier, that it was a far from easy task. It was in the bottom of his shed, on the floor. It needed to come through a carport, and then his drive was on a steep hill, and I needed to try and get it on a trailer. But all that's history now. We got it back safe and got it back loaded. So yeah, what a job it was when I think back, really.
I wonder if there was anyone else on this earth that would have got it out of that shed apart from you, Ben, because you're well equipped. You got your Land Rover with the winch on the front of it, and you've got some brains about you, because obviously you go around with a set of gallopers, setting those up. You're minded in those sort of impossible tasks.
Yeah, well, something like that. It took a bit of working out, really, of how I was going to do it, and I did it with the help of friends of Alan Guest and Eddie Nixon, and without them, I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it with my brother or my next-door neighbour. It needed to be someone that knew about organs, really. So between us, we got it out. It was a nice, fine day, and got it back all sheeted up, and got it back in my building nice and dry. So it was a job well done, really.
Now, tell us about this trailer, because then anyone that might have seen it at Southport, it is a whacking great big trailer.
Yeah, well, that's it. I don't know how many people have asked me how heavy it is, but I can assure them it's well underweight. But yeah, it's sort of built on an Ifer Williams Triax trailer, really. And Alan Guest's brother built me the body on the trailer. Between us, we designed the doors of how everything was going to open up and how the organ was going to fit in. So he built the body over a period of a couple of months off and on, while I was still doing a little bit of work on the organ in my workshop. He painted it. I picked it up from his workshop in Hull. And it sat with me for quite a while, really, until I got the organ to sort of a stage where it was sort of ready to go in. And then the organ sort of went in probably, I think it was about 10 days before the event. I think I lifted the organ in at Southport. So it was all a bit of a rush to get it done, really.
And it was partly my fault, because I I heard you were taking the organ to the event, and you actually heard it announced on Mechanical Music Radio. It will be making its debut there, and at that point, it wasn't in the trailer.
No, well, that's it. Like Alan Guest, my friend, an organ builder, he was organising the event, and he sort of said I should bring it along. And I said, well, look, Alan, I said, I've still about 200 pipes out the organ, this wind chest out, that wind chest out. And he was like, oh, we're going to do it. So anyway, it sort of went between us as friends, really, that it was going to be there. And the next thing I heard you announce it on the radio, and I thought, oh, my goodness, we've really got to try and do this.
Committed.
So it was a hectic 2 weeks. Put it that way.
Ben, look, we've got more of the story of this instrument, the purchase, putting it into the trailer, getting it ready for its debut that was a couple of weeks ago, and some more recordings from it as well. Stay listening. Tuesday Night Live, Mechanical Music Radio.
Looking for rolls for your hand-turned organ? Over 2,000 titles available from the French suppliers Cochard & Co. The world-class arrangements of Hiddo van Ost and Tom Meyer are now available for all Raffin scales, with an option to listen to an arrangement before you buy. As well as paper roll, Sébastien Cochard also supply cardboard book music for many scales. Please visit cochardandco.fr, also on Facebook and Instagram.
Tiptoe Through the Tulips, Grand Organ, Mechanical Music Radio with Tuesday Night Live and James Dundon. So what does a mechanical organ smell of? James Hollier thinks sugar pine and shellac, which is quite nice. I love the smell of shellac. Jess Eade thinks toilet paper... What? Toilet paper rolls full of paper. Oh, what, like a paper roll-playing instrument? Do you know, a new paper roll does smell nice. I'm not sure it smells like a toilet roll, but it depends. Anthony thinks leather. It's nice, isn't it? And this one from Ian Postlethwaite says, you can almost sound like Gilly Goulden doing the wine tasting on the Food and Drink show. They're all quite different. I find aged leather lingers distinctively, particularly much older instruments, as does aging animal glue, and the unmistakable mixture of proper shellac and old wood adds to the blend. There you go. What does a mechanical organ smell of? Continue the discussion on our Facebook page if you like, mechanicalmusicradio.com, and follow the links to our social media.
Mechanical Music Radio's 1 second song.
Right, I think it's pretty easy. Tonight's 1 second song. Have a listen, see if you can identify the piece we've got here. I think that's pretty easy. Come on. Get in touch. Even if you've never contacted the radio station before, I'm sure you know the title to this song. All right, you can text, you can email, make contact, and we'll reveal the answer at the end of the show.
Text the studio now. 07871 221 511. Or email through our website, mechanicalmusicradio.com.
Interesting arrangement with that from Yankees de Ruyter. Für Elise, that piece that we used to learn on the piano. In various sort of tempos and styles, Yankees de Ruyter arrangement played there on the Kunkel's organ. Evening then, this is James Dundon, Tuesday Night Live. Let's have another chat with Ben Kellett. We are talking about his new acquisition this evening, his 89 Key Whitehead Fairground Organ, which is in the trailer. It was ready to go for the debut at the Southport Festival of Fantastic Machines. And Ben's back on. Hi, Ben.
Hello, James. You okay now?
Yeah, fine. So, we've heard about the story of getting it out of the shed, getting the trailer ready. It came into getting it into the trailer. I'm going to ask you the question that everyone wants to know. Did you experience any problems getting it into the trailer? Any mishaps? Any boo-boos? Because we like sharing these stories. Come on, Ben.
Oh, I don't know. All of it was a constant worry, if I'm honest, James, from how I was going to lift the organ. Because remember, because the organ was on the floor and I winched it up on some casters, the organ had never, ever been lifted in its existence, really. And I obviously had to lift it into the trailer. So I was pretty worried about how the case was sort of, whether it was going to be strong enough to lift the organ. Anyway, it was all a worry, and really it was nothing to worry about. It lifted fine, got it in the trailer. And I'm trying to think, really, getting it in the trailer bit was sort of fairly easy. It was sort of getting the organ back together and the worry of, will we ever get this organ back into a reasonable playing state and tune for people to listen to, really.
And how long did it take to tune it?
Well, I took it up to Alan Guest, and between us, we'd probably spent about sort of 2.5 days, 3 days on it to iron out some problems and tune it. So, bearing in mind that it hadn't been tuned since 1995, and the previous owner, Adrian, had great pleasure, I think, in telling people that it hadn't been tuned since then. But I just wish to reassure people that I hope to get it tuned a bit more often than that.
Well, it was, doing well at Southport, considering the up and down weather, and also considering, considering that that's probably the longest it's ever been played in its existence. I'm sure Adrian would have just played it for a couple of hours in the shed.
Yeah, Adrian really I think he used to play it every Monday, up until probably about 2 years ago. He couldn't get to play it in his shed, unfortunately. And I'd obviously played it in my workshop, but nothing as long as sort of 8 hours a day and an evening. So yeah, I was really pleased with how it performed. I had a tube come off, a feed tube to one of the chests, which I couldn't quite work out what was going wrong. But anyway, as soon as I put my finger on it, it was a lot better. But all these things are set to try us, and I'm sure these little quirks and things I'll pick up along the way, and we'll get there with it.
All right, Ben. We'll have one more chat with Ben just about his hopes for the future, what's happening next with the organ, after we hear another track from it. And this was recorded at Southport Pleasureland just a couple of weeks ago at its debut. This is Ritti, I don't know how to say this, Ben. Is it Rittiana Italiano March?
Yeah, that's near enough. People know what it is.
What is it?
Without seeing it written on the book, I can't even pronounce it.
I'm glad you're struggling as well. That's fine. All right, enjoy it. A good march here on the Whitehead 89 key fair organ. There you go. Ben Kellett's 89 key Whitehead fair organ that made its debut at Southport Pleasureland. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were there to witness the moment and do the special recordings. We even had a fireworks display on Saturday night, didn't we, Ben, where you were playing the organ. It was quite surreal. I've never heard an organ play live before while fireworks were going off in the background. It was quite surreal.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Unfortunately, I don't have the 1812 Overture, but we have some suitable choices instead.
Yeah, great. What's next, Ben? Because, you had some very favourable comments during its debut because the reed pipework is spot on. You are so lucky to have a replica fair organ that sounds so full and so balanced and so good. But there's obviously, when we all get an instrument, there's little tweaks that we want to do with it. What have you got in mind? What are you hoping to work on?
Yeah, the organ performed well, really. Very pleased with what it did. The tuning drifted off a little bit on the Sunday, probably due to the damper atmosphere on the Saturday night. So really, I just want to work through the reeds and some of the pipe work to stabilise and regulate some of that. And a little bit of work needs to be done on the winding of some of the chests for the action side of things. So it's an ongoing job. I think I'll be on with it for a couple more years till I'm sort of satisfied with how it's performing. But to pull an organ straight out of a shed, which was almost a barn find really, because people almost didn't know it existed, and then to throw it straight to work like that as it was intended for, it performed spot on, I thought. So I was very pleased with it.
Absolutely. And, you're a young guy, Ben, without wanting to patronise you, but there's not many young people coming through in the mechanical music scene, not as many as we'd like. Did you ever dream you'd own an 89 key fairground organ, never mind at such a young age?
No, I didn't really. I've always wanted one, James. As you know, I've always aspired to something larger, but I never thought I'd get one. And really, my word to anyone of our age or even younger, really, is just sort of keep working and things will happen if you try and do it. And like this organ sort of came to me within the space of a week. I wasn't really sort of looking for an organ of this size, and everything sort of seemed right at the time. And you've just got to take the chance and plunge and do it, really.
Brilliant. There's a gallery of pictures of the story of Ben getting the organ out of a shed, building the trailer, making its debut. You can see that on the Mechanical Music Radio Facebook page. And keep in touch, Ben. I mean, it's always so exciting. I mean, it was honestly just listening to the organ. It was like a new instrument had just been built in some ways, because it was something that none of us had ever seen before, because it had been tucked away in this shed, and it was just so exciting to see something new on the scene, and get that feeling. So thanks for all your efforts.
Thank you. Yes, no problem, James. Well, hopefully when it warms up, we'll send you some more recordings for the radio anyway.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Ben Kellett. And details and pictures on our Facebook page right now. You're listening to Mechanical Music Radio, Tuesday Night Live.
Mechanical Music Radio's 1 Second Song.
Thanks for all the guesses for the 1 second song. So many people got it right in the end. Fastest finger first, Alan Guest, straight in with a text to the mobile. Very good. He's got fastest fingers. And Bill and Claire in the US, thank you for your message. Also, Mark Raven, who gets it. Peter Mackett, hi to Mike Green, who's listening, Mike the Organ Man. I also need to say hello to Nick Williams and Ben Jackson. David Aldridge also gets it. Bill Warder says, Mark Raven tells me it's for Zambezi. Blame him if it's wrong. What, Bill, you didn't know yourself it was the Zambezi? Well done to all that got it right. We'll play it in full now on the Zwart Doris. Zwart Doris. Great arrangement of the Zambezi. That was our 1 second song this evening. Thank you for all the messages on the Tuesday talking point, which was, what does an organ smell of? Mark Raven thinks wood and varnish. That's quite nice, isn't it? Gary says a lot of organs smell of dust because they're not played as much as they should be. Yeah, dust. There's a mouldy smell sometimes, isn't there? Which is a timely reminder for us all to put a little tubular heater in our organ trailer this time of year. Come on, do your autumn prep. Bill and Claire in the US think the smell of coal from a showman's engines, that's what an organ smells of. And this message from Trev in his shed, who says, I think organs smell of portaloos. Your request next after 10. We get into the request hour. Looking forward to playing your choices. Let us know what you want to hear right now at mechanicalmusicradio.com and join us same time next week for another Tuesday Night Live. Thanks for listening.